going on, guys? Give you guys a moment to get in. Get to. It's been a long time. I'm on my way to work. See if we can get anyone to come in. I know this is a little different format for me. See how this works. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some things. Let's This has been a pretty interesting race. Talk about how we think this election is going to affect the chart, the markets, trading, investing. I'll share my thoughts on it. Just wait for it in. I hope they let you okay. I hope YouTube will allow me to see the chat. Let's see. Swipe. Oh. Maybe it'll just start showing as people come in. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and start. That's fine. I may have to just repeat some things, but it's been a pretty interesting race, you know. Pretty interesting election year. For the record, I am non-partisan, so I really don't have a horse in the race. I never do. That makes the most sense for me. Even though I have my thoughts around voting and how all of that really works and takes place. But as far as how me personally think this election will affect the markets, I don't think it's going to affect it any differently than anything else. The markets are predetermined. All right, you've viewed me for any length of time, or I wouldn't say any length of time, I consider the markets to be predetermined. There are price points connected to agendas. There are market conditions connected to agendas. And so one thing that rules or trumps, no pun intended, one thing that trumps everything is money. However, the only thing that will trump money is power. Point blank, period. You give an individual opportunity. Most individuals, well, I wouldn't say most individuals. I would say you put the right person in place who does not have a high moral standard. If you give them a choice between power and money, they'll choose power, because with power you can get money. All right. Now, I would say the majority of people who don't care about power, yeah, they're going to choose money, because they're just thinking of being able to take care of themselves and the people and things that they care about. So with all that being said, I think overall there are powers that be, and those powers that be, they like their power, because with that power they're gonna have money, right? Oftentimes it takes money to get the power. However, when individuals have that power, they're gonna choose to hang on to that power, because now they can also hang on to their money. All right. So money is an influence. Okay. Arguably the greatest influence on this earth. The greatest influence definitely in this country. All right. So the powers that be, they will make sure that whoever is in office will do what they say. All right. I don't know if you guys remember this show called Scandal. All right. Great. Kerry Washington played Olivia Pope, a quote unquote fixer who 99% of the time took on high profile clients, and 99% of the time those high profile clients were had some type of political pull or relevance. And in that show, they revealed a secret organization called B613 that they ran the show. All right, they ran this. They were behind everything in America, meaning the president had their say so. However, whenever a particular agenda needed to be pushed, whenever B613 felt that the Republic was in jeopardy or needed to go in a particular direction, they stepped in. Right? And we can see hints of that here in real life. I mean, just think about the Electoral College. I mean, how does voting work? We have a popular vote. a vote of the populace. However, the electoral college in each state, they have the right to not go with the to go with the popular vote. So I mean that lets you that lets you know about our influence and our power as people. All right. Um, so again, how I think this will affect, how I think that this election will affect the market is it's not going to have any effect, right? It's not going to have any effect because the market is going to go where they all up on my tail, guys. But anyway, the market is going to go wherever the power that be want the market to go. Point blank, period. Right? When you start to bring in technicals and you start to, and I'm talking about technical analysis of the charts. When you start to bring in technicals and you start to ponder and think about some of the things that ICT has said, and you see these things play out, not even just ICT. I look at even like supply and demand. Like you can obviously see that there's not necessarily people controlling the market, right? Now, have we seen some instances? Yes. The whole GameStop era with Roaring Kitty and Wall Street Bets. Yes, we've seen some instances in single stocks. You have never and will never see that in indexes, period. You won't see that happening for the S&P 500. You won't see that happening for the Dow. You won't see that happening for the NASDAQ. You won't see that happening for the Russell, right? You won't see that for the Nikkei index. You won't see that for the German index. You won't see the populace affecting or effecting, right, or having an influence rather on the market, on those indexes. You won't see it. All right? You won't see it. Why? Powers to be, right? The algorithms, and now AI coming into it. You guys best believe that AI is going to touch every facet of life, every industry, all right, every market, all right? Just makes it easier for them. So again, I don't think that this election is going to have that big of an effect on the market per se, right? I believe that they will spin whatever narrative that they need to spin, whether it's positive for Trump, negative for Harris, right? Positive for Harris, negative for Trump. No matter what the narrative is being spun, period. And we will see the indexes fall in line, period. So whether it was COVID or whether it's a recession, whether it's inflation, whether it's a candidate, right? The narrative will be spun in accordance to the agenda, right? Our goal as traders, as investors, as even citizens, right, is to do our best to come out on top or somewhere near the top as the agenda unfolds. So, I was just talking to my wife yesterday, yeah, and it may not be the most intelligent thing, because it can also lose its value, its popular value, its worldly value. But I want to take half of our savings and buy physical gold, because I think that there is coming a time in the near future, right? This year, I'm not saying this year, I'm not saying next year, I'm not saying in 10 years, but the near future, relatively, the near future. That's crazy that no one has come in yet, the YouTube algorithm. But anyway, I think that at least the American dollar is going to lose its value, period, right? Period. I mean, ever since 1913 and 1971, especially 1971, because that is when Nixon took the dollar off of the gold standard, right? 1913, that's when the Federal Reserve was created and implemented. I wouldn't say created, but it was implemented, right? That started the devaluing of the dollar, all right? Does it have some populist value? Yes. I would say maybe 7 or 8 times out of 10, when you go to a different country and you exchange your dollar for that native currency, you're going to get more for your dollar. However, again, I believe that we're coming to a time that the dollar will be devalued, and like all of our savings, all of our investing, I want to say it will be for naught. However, if we don't transition, and it may not be gold, it may be, I don't know, crypto. It may be crypto. It may be leaves off of the trees. It may be blades of grass, buttons. I mean, whatever. I think, I'm just being a little facetious, but I think, precious metals.
Miles, take exit 258 for Florida 53 toward Madison.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I just think that the value of the dollar will be zero. So, I mean, that's all I really want to talk about, guys. I don't think that this race is going to affect the market whatsoever. I think the agenda is the agenda, and all we can do is be prepared for it. All right. So, all in all, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'll leave this live up for you guys, but as always, to your health, to your wealth, and I pray for safe trading and investing for you guys. Until next time. You guys be good. Bye.